everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So today is going to be another kind of a chat, vent, rant kind of a session. I'm going to be talking about my poor nose and when it got broken, because it was like in the span of a week a lot happened and I was like, oh, I just want it fixed. I just want my nose in one piece again, you know. One piece nose will be quite delightful. So I'll do this in the timeline. On this Sunday, I was playing netball, and it was kind of, my team wasn't my usual team because we were playing mixed and half the team wasn't able to play, so it was a bunch of fill-ins, so I was playing goal defense. And on the opposite end, the opposition team's goal defense was a guy, and he was like 6'6", 6'7". In retrospect, I'm about 5'6", so a lot taller than me. And in the center court, I went to intercept a ball. He came out of nowhere, and as he's got the ball and come down, his elbow is smashed right down on the top of my nose. I splattered to the ground. I was kind of dazed. I was like, oh, damn, I've been here. But I got back up, kept playing. My knees were scuffed. That was my only fear at that time. I was like, if my knees are bleeding, I can't keep playing. Because the thing is, my nose has never bled, doesn't bleed. It just doesn't bleed. I was like, oh, okay, my nose is fine. Didn't even think about it. Go off, after, because this was like the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, I go off and I go, my nose kind of feels funny. And one of the players go up and go, Hannah, your nose is bent. And then another goes, no, it's not, don't be silly. So I continued the game. By third quarter, I was going, I'm feeling a bit dizzy. Like, this isn't what usually happens. I'm feeling dizzy, I'm feeling lightheaded. Everything's kind of like, oh, okay. And I was going cross-eyed. I'm like, my nose looks a bit bruised, okay. And at the time, my younger brother was playing because he plays on my netball team now because we need players, and all our other guys were out, so all his friends and stuff were playing. Go to my brother, I'm like, is my nose bruised? And he looks and goes, Hannah, it is bent. And I'm like, nah. He goes, sit on the bench. I'm like, we don't have a sub, I can't sit on the bench. So I go in and play, and I'm just like, maybe it is bent. He was like freaking out, going, you shouldn't be on the court. And I'm like, it's fine. I was like, then I started touching my nose, like just feeling, and I'm like, does feel a bit bent in, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool living. And then because my mum came to pick us up, I go to her and I go, I think I broke my nose. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah, I think it's broken. She looks at me and goes, it looks a bit out of place. I'm like, yeah, it feels a bit out of place. So go home, grab my stuff, go to the emergency. It was so busy. I was like, whoa, okay, cool. So I just trying to think, the game started about 7:15, so I would have done it about 7:20. Got to the hospital about 8 o'clock, just after 8, and just like gave them my details and ended up sitting there until nearly midnight. For some reason, well, not luckily, but one of my friends ended up being sick and being there as well, so I was like, oh, someone to chat to for a little. But after like 2 hours, she gave up and went home, and I was like, okay. But all she was doing was commenting, going, yeah, your nose looks a bit funky, because I was expecting them to just be able to just, you know, pop it back in for me and I won't have to worry, just do it right there and there. So it's fine. But then finally, when I get my chance, been waiting for 4 hours to get my chance to go in, I go sit, and she goes, have you had any bleeding? I'm like, no, my nose doesn't bleed, so no bleeding. And she's touching it and she goes, can you breathe? And I'm like, pretty sure I can breathe, like everything seems fine to me, apart from the fact that it's obviously misshapen. But and she goes, there's nothing I can really do, you're just gonna have to live with that deformity. And I'm like, I'll insert a picture here, what it looked like. And at the time, I don't know why, but I just don't bruise, my face doesn't bruise, so I had minimal bruising just under my eyes at the time, but my nose was obviously caved in, but because it didn't bleed, apparently there was nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, radio, cool, if you say so, man. So I go home, and also I was telling her I had a headache, and because at the time I was feeling like really lightheaded, and I was like, oh, you know, when you're kind of drunk and things are spinning, that's how I kind of felt at times, because my head was just like aching. And she goes, oh, the headache's probably just still from shock. And I'm like, a verging on 5-hour headache from shock? I don't think so, but you know, I'm not a nurse, I know it's emergency. I was in there for maybe 2 minutes and then she kicked me out, and so I left it for a day. I woke up with a crazy headache. I was like, no, I can't physically get up and go to work and stand for hours when my head's pounding. I couldn't even sit my glasses on my face because my head hurt that much. Like, I put my glasses on and I felt like I was going to throw up. So I waited until I think it was Wednesday. I was able to get an appointment to go see not my GP, but a GP. And I go and see her, and she goes, oh, I have an email from like the hospital saying that I have to put your nose back in place. And I'm like, they couldn't have just done it there for me? And she goes, I'm not comfortable doing that. And so she went in to go get a guy who's been working as a doctor for years. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I was like prepping. I'm like, let's get my nose slammed. And she comes back and goes, yeah, he isn't comfortable like knocking your nose back in. I'm like, dang, like, damn it. So she goes, oh, I'll refer you to a guy the next day. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'd rather see a specialist and him just go, get it back in for me. So Thursday, I get up and go, this is the day I'm going to get my nose fixed. This is it. And still, my bruising was minimalistic. Like, it was kind of great. Like, I barely got any bruising on here. My eyes just looked like sunken in and stuff. And there was, like, swollen, but not much going on. I was like, oh, okay. So I went in. The guy was running an hour and a half behind. So I sat there for, like, 2 hours just going, walk into his little room, sit down, he has a joke, he like comes to me and he realised I'm nervous and he had all these tools set up. I'm like, this looks like a torture chamber, but okay, I am ready. And he looks at my nose, he touches it and goes, yeah, I'm going to put you under for that. And I'm like, are you kidding? Are you JKing me? And he goes, yeah, it's not, it looks too like, because the way it was too, I don't know what was wrong with it, but he wasn't comfortable while I was awake because he was full on have to like snap it back. And I was like, okay, that's alright. Ended up getting out and he arranged the appointment for the next day, luckily, for the surgery, because he's like, oh, this is emergency surgery, because if he, like, it takes too long, you have to break the nose and then re-break it, like break it a couple times before putting it back in place. And he goes, yeah, and it ended up costing me so much money just for like, he literally was in there, I was in there for maybe 3 minutes. I was in there and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And they go, yeah, it's like $700. I'm like, for me to sit in there, touch my nose, make a joke about Donald Trump. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, just my nose is gonna get fixed. I'm just thinking, my nose is gonna get fixed. I go in the next, like, they give me a call confirming what time, and I eat at 7 o'clock in the morning. So at my appointment, like, because you have to fast when you have surgery. And I was like, okay, I've never had a surgery in petrified needles. I'm ready. I go there. And the guy seems really nice. And then they start freaking out because the guy who was meant to send through my forms, because he was originally going to do the surgery, but he didn't have a free appointment, so he's like, oh, just give it to this new person that's like works under me. I'm like, okay, I don't mind as long as my nose is fixed. And they go, oh yeah, all the forms aren't sent through. So they're starting to get mad at me because my forms weren't sent through, but I wasn't supposed to send through the forms. It was the guy I had the appointment with that was supposed to send through the forms, but apparently he didn't send them through because he forgot he wasn't doing surgery. So they were getting mad at me for like, it wasn't my fault. Like, I just came here when you told me to come here. Like, I brought all my details I needed and everything. So I was sitting there. I'll put an insert of my pretty gown in now. So yeah, I was in that, living my best life, just sitting there, and people going in before me. I'm like, I don't really care, mine isn't really an emergency. And they're like, oh, because if someone was pregnant and needed a C-section, they would have gone in before me. If someone had like a serious like need for surgery, they would have gone before me. I'm like, I fully understand. But because afterwards they feed you and you have a dietary list, and I was like, oh, I'm vegetarian, so they ticked that I was vegetarian because I can't eat meat and blah blah blah. And I was like, cool, at least I know I'm gonna get a feast after this, because by the time I went in, it was like, by the time they called me in, it was about 4:30. And then by the time they filled in extra forms and put the needle in my arm, it was like nearly 5 o'clock by the time I went into the surgery. Luckily the anaesthetic guy was really cute and really nice, and I was like, I need your number, but I was nice enough not to get his number because he probably would have lost his job. That's true. But yeah, it was a good thing. And we got to wear a headset with whatever music, and I did the song by Panic at the Disco, when he's, I think it's If You Love Me, I can't remember. This Is Gospel. I used This Is Gospel because he's in the hospital bed, and I was like, yes, this is ironic, I cannot not use this song. So that was cool. And then it took a while for the anaesthetic to work because they had to how did they do it? I had to use it through a breathing tube because I was doing surgery in my nose. So once I was under, they had to put a breathing tube down my throat so they could just snap my nose back in place. They're like, oh yeah, it's gonna take like 10 minutes max, you're fine. I'm like, awesome, oh, wow. And then after I wake up, I find out that even though I was put through as emergency and should have been fine. They actually had to re-break my nose to break it back in. So it's had 2 breaks in it. Technically 3 because I had to break it back in. And so that was great, finding out my nose had to be broken for a 3rd time. Like 3 breaks for my nose in a week. Just because on Sunday night when I went in, they wanted to just break it back in for me. And I was like, are you joking? And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you had to break my nose. And I'll put an insert of the brace I was wearing now. So I had that on. And they wheeled me through. And they called me, they said I was bratty. And I was like, I don't know how I was bratty. And they only called me bratty because the anesthetic took a while to kick in. I'm like, that's a bit rude. If you're gonna call me bratty, don't call it right behind me when I can hear you. Like, I found that really, 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 really rude just because I took a little bit to go under the, like, under. I was bratty. And I'm like, I was nice. I was nervous. Like, maybe you should have upped the dosage. It just made me so salty. I was so mad. And the chick that was wheeling me through, she was so mean. And she was just like so grumpy and growling at everyone. And I was like, okay. And I was just laying there. Found out the surgery actually took like half an hour to 40 minutes by the time I realised it, blah blah. And I sit there and she brings me, like, she's like, do you want tea? I'm like, yeah, I have tea. Then she goes, oh, actually, you have to wait till the tea's cold because if any hot fume, like steam, goes up my nose, it'll make it bleed and like they won't be able to clog it up and I'd have to go back in and I don't know, something. But I was ready for the sandwiches. They bring the sandwiches out and I have a look and I see cheese. I see a cheese one. I'm like, yes, there's a cheese one. And then the other 3 all had meat. It was some meat and tomato, some meat and lettuce. And I was looking going, oh. And I was like, oh, don't you have the vegetarian one? She goes, oh no, we ran out. We didn't have anything left. And I'm like, in all these sandwiches, there was lettuce and tomato and cheese. I'm like, you could just make me lettuce, tomato and cheese or even just a cheese sandwich. I wouldn't have cared. I don't, like, they had 6 to 7 hours by the time I went in, they had like 6 hours to be able to figure out themselves and set a sandwich aside for me. And so I couldn't have any of the sandwiches and I just had to wait for my tea to cool so I could have my little biscuit they gave me. And I was like, I haven't eaten since 7 o'clock for nearly 12 hours. I know that's not bad, but like, it's not really the greatest either for me to have not eaten for 12 hours and you just give me a 1 biscuit. Like, that was a bit negligent of you. And so eventually I go home and I have my doctor's certificate saying that I couldn't work for like that full week because originally I had a headache every time I stood up and now with the brace they didn't want any hot steam to go hit my nose for the next 5 days, otherwise it will bleed and I have to go back. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. Then when I go to hand it in, like, they knew I wasn't working at work that full week. When I go to hand in my doctor's certificate for the next, like, until that Friday, they go, oh, why don't you come in for your Sunday shift? And I'm like, I've never been rostered on a Sunday in my life. Like, we have a roster that's permanent, and, like, I have permanent shifts going. I've never been rostered or never said yes to a Sunday. And she goes, oh, well, you should have told us you couldn't work. And I'm like, I wasn't called for a shift. I wasn't asked for a shift, so unless someone has written my name down without asking me, I wasn't in for that shift. So that was just me being salty. I was just a salty sister. And I couldn't put my glass on top of my brace because the pressure from on top of the brace made my nose ache. And I was like, golly gosh, this is killing me. And so I go into my appointment to get my brace off. I think on the Wednesday or the Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday. And it comes off, it was a cute guy who got to take my brace off. I'm like, yes. So they took off my brace and my poor nose, it was all dry and all the sticky stuff was stuck to it. And I'm like, ew, my poor nose. And it was still sore and still like fragile. And I was like, ah, my poor baby nose, my poor nose. But it was freed. Sorry, my camera died for a minute there. I love when that happens. But I was informed that I wasn't allowed to do, because I play netball, like, and my new season was about to start. They go, oh, sorry, no, I play netball for 6 weeks. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, is this a joke? I thought he was actually joking. I was like, no way. He goes, no, because if you get a hit, it's going to just break again. And I'm like, so I had to, my girl-only team, like, just, ended up pulling because they didn't want to play without me because we've played together for the last, like, 4 years. And they're like, no, we're not playing the season when I can't even play half the season. I'm like, oh, okay. And I've had to been finding feelings for the mixed team. And then, because I'm aerialist, they're like, no, you're not allowed to go upside down for like a week. And I'm like, oh, a week I could do. Like, no, a week to 2 weeks. I was like, oh, that's okay. because there was a possibility of me going upside down and having a blood nose. Mind you, while my nose was still broken on the Thursday night before the morning, like the night before the surgery, I went and did a power hour, which was like working out on aerials for an hour, and it, gonna say, I felt like I was tripping doing half of that, like going up with silk and climbing in a hoop. I was like, whoa, okay, broken nose doing this is weird. But yeah, so that happened, nose was free, then get fine, love went over, all that bullshit happens, and then, to this day, like, it's not completely straight. Like, my nose used to be just, but my evil gran has pointed out that there's a slight divot still right here. But this is where it was all tender, and they were scared I actually broke, like, something in my eye socket, because just all here was really, really sore. And I was like, we'll do one thing at a time. We'll deal with the nose first, and if it's still sore, the eye socket, we'll deal with later. But yeah, I couldn't wear my glasses still for another week and a half because it hurt to have any sort of pressure, and it gave me like a migraine, or had to wear my glasses at the very, very end on the squishy bits of my nose. And my breathing, even now, I know it's not perfect because this side gets clogged really easily, and like my breathing isn't great. I haven't actually ran because the week I was supposed to start netball again, COVID-19 ruined it, and I was like, this is gonna be my debut, but whatever. And also I have no sense of smell this side at all. Like, I read that sometimes after you get surgery it can happen, but it hasn't come back. I've always had a heightened sense of smell, so kind of been able to only smell out of one side. It kind of makes me like the norm now, like I can smell like normal people, but it's just weird, like, because I know I can't, because I always test, because my scrunchies are sat right next to my Honolulu reeds, so they always smell really nice. So every morning I do like test like each side to see, and this side you can smell, and this side just is blank unless I use DP, then I can just feel it. So, and I feel like I should go and get it checked out, but like with all the drama going on with the health system at the moment and the COVID-19, I kind of don't want to be that person going, I need my fix, I need my. So I was just going to wait until things calm down a little, because having not being able to smell one side isn't do or die. Like, yes, a couple of things taste a little funky now to me, but what can I do? Like, I'm not going to be like, sorry, you have COVID-19, but I can't smell. Let me go before you. Like, there's no point. So yeah, that was the drama about my nose. My poor nose. And they said I don't have to tape it, but I think just out of literal fear for myself, because pretty sure eventually when we get back, our first game is going to be against the team that I broke my nose against. I'm gonna just tape like at least along the side. Like I've been researching like tape for nose, just so I know like it's not tender at all anymore. Like I can touch and it doesn't hurt, but I just have that fear that I'm gonna hit it and it's gonna crack or whatever. Because when I saw the brace on it, I don't know how, but I headbutted the car as I went to go in, and I heard a crack, and I was like, "This is my nose going again." But no, it was okay. But yeah. That was the story of my broken nose. I hope you enjoyed me just ranting about everything, and I hope the cut when my camera decided to stop working didn't like cut where I didn't think it was where I thought it stopped, and I continued on, but who knows. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you around in my next video, I hope, and it will not be about me ranting about stuff. I promise at least my next 2 videos might be enjoyable, and me doing my makeup and stuff again instead of just talking, but I've just been wanting to give my poor face a break. She's not doing well. She's trying to live, but she can't. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Yeet!